But on the whole, I prefer the women to experience a certain amount of freedom, particularly in their leisure time. They appreciate it, and it is rarely abused.
It's at times that it is abused that I'm concerned with, Mrs. Davidson.
Nevertheless, it is the way I like this prison to be run.
With respect, ma'am, I don't agree.
You are entitled to your opinions, Mr. Fletcher, but may I remind you, you are now working in a women's prison. You are not in Pentridge nor the Army.
I didn't ask for this transfer. I was given this job because the department wasn't happy with certain incidents.
I know very well why you were transferred, Mr. Fletcher. But as long as I am the governor here, I will make the decisions on policy. Now, I suggest you go home, and perhaps tomorrow we can start off on a more even footing.
Ladies.
He's making an impression.
You could say that.
Oh, by the way, I have the Voss's deportation order. She leaves tomorrow. Take care of it, would you?
It hardly seems fair, really.
It's the law.
I just put some dirt in it, that's all. Do you reckon it'll live?
Oh, well, it looks all right. But if it doesn't take, we can plant it in the garden. You're getting quite a green thumb.
Yeah. Hey, do you think you could bring me in some more? We could really do the room up.
No, Vera'd only ripped them out like last time. We're lucky this one's still alive.
Are you two gonna keep yucking all night?
Oh, belt up, Lizzie. We hardly ever get to see one another.
If you ask me, it's the other way around.
Well, nobody asked you.
Well, I'm a bit tired anyway.
Oh, okay.
Night, Doreen.
Night, Lynn.
Morning, Jim.
Morning, Greg.
How's it going?
It's early days.
Listen, feel free to drop by my office anytime.
Yes, I might just do that.
How are you getting on with the other officers?
We understand each other. Have you always been the only man on staff here?
No, Bill Jackson worked here when I first arrived.
Jackson?
Yes, he was Meg's husband. He was killed quite a few months ago in a riot.
Oh, hell. Yes, I remember it.
Yes. Yes, I'll let her know.
Oh, I'm ringing. Goodbye.
Thank heavens I didn't miss you. Good luck. Καλή τύχη. Γεια σας και ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ για όλα.
Sorry?
When you're quite finished, Travers.
Well, Mr. Wilson rang. He can't pick you up today.
You've been stood up, have you, Travers?
Morning.
Morning.
I'll take over, thank you, Miss Bennett.
What?
I think I know the procedure.
Hardly be smuggling anything out in books.
Come on.
I'd rather Miss Bennett did it.
Hand it over.
Women don't like men going through their handbags, or is that how you get your kicks?
Know the rules about taking out uncensored letters?
I've never seen them before.
Tell your story to the governor.
They're not mine. You've got to believe me. I don't even know where they came from.
Who gave them to you, Lynn?
No one. I've never even seen them before.
Who wrote them?
They're unsigned and printed. We'll never be able to trace them. Did you read these letters?
How could I? I didn't even know they were in my bag.
Then why do they say you'd be the contact to smuggle things out of prison? You must have known.
I didn't. Oh, please, Mrs. Davidson.
Why would you risk losing your job over something like this?
I haven't done anything.
Wait outside.
Of course you're guilty.
Well, I believe her.
Those letters were found in a bag, Mrs. Davidson.
Well, someone could have put them there.
Why?
I don't know. But Lynn Warner has proved to me she can be trusted.
Nobody would write those letters unless they knew they were going to be posted.
I agree.
I think she should be disciplined.
Very well.
Hey, why aren't you at work?
They've stopped me going.
Why'd they do that?
They said I was smuggling out letters. I don't know how they got there, Doreen, but no one will believe me.
I believe you.
Who'd do a thing like that?
Don't you worry. We'll get the bitch who done it. Some rotten mongrel's gone and set you up, Lenny. We'll find out who done it.
Yeah, and in the meantime, I'm stuck in here for something I didn't do. Every time something happens in the place, my work release gets stopped. I'm going to lose my job for something that isn't even my fault. God, I hate this place. I hate it.
I suppose you think you're all clever not signing those letters, covering yourselves in case she got caught. Well, she did, and I'm sure now the governor will think twice before trusting anyone else. Stupid little fool. You're all stupid. Ferguson, you're up before the parole board in half an hour. Don't be late.
Are you kidding? I'd even say you ought to be back as deputy governor to get me out of this hole. And if I didn't choke while I was saying it.
I wouldn't count on being paroled if I were you.
Wait till I get my hands on Warner.
Well, I don't reckon she had anything to do with it.
What are you talking about? She smuggled in that yeast for me, didn't she?
Only because you started throwing your weight about, you hefty great elephant.
Listen, if I wasn't getting out of here soon, I'd knock your block off, you old crow.
Oh, you've only got 3 weeks to go anyhow.
Yeah, well, that's 3 weeks too long.
Well, what makes you think they're going to give you a parole?
Because Mrs. Jackson said if I pulled my socks...
What, after you almost killed her?
Yeah, well, that was an accident. She's not one to bear a grudge. Anyway, they didn't put B in solitary, so why should they just pull the plug on me?
Because I've done a deal with the governor.
Oh, yeah, like what?
Well, I just wouldn't get my hopes up if I were you.
I could just see the look on Fred's face when I walked through the door. What a celebration.
Do you mean he's going to take you back after you almost knocked him senseless?
No, he always has before. He reckons he can't live without me.
That's because she's shaking his brains loose.
The only person that would have done it is that Mr. Fletcher.
Yeah, that'd be right. He'd be just rotten enough to do something like that.
Oh, we'd do nothing of the kind.
Then why wouldn't he let Miss Bennett search me?
They'd have been found no matter who searched you, Lynn.
You should see the way he looks at us, Doc. He's cold, you know, real fish, not human.
Oh, stop exaggerating, Doreen.
Well, that should settle you down, Lynn.
I'll see she's okay. Come on, Lynn.
If he didn't do it, then who did? None of the women would have.
Jim certainly seems to have made an impression on those two.
Well, they're not the only ones.
Yeah, well, I'll admit he's not an easy man to get to know, though I'm sure he's honest.
Well, he wouldn't have done that to Lynn, I know that.
Do I detect a note of aggression?
The man's a pompous, over-disciplined bore, Greg. What's in the rule book, that's the law, and he's going to lay it down. Forget the individual, they don't count. Women are beneath him, did you know that?
Come on.
And as for working wives and mothers, oh, forget it. They're not in his set of rules.
Meg, what's he been saying to you?
Well, maybe he is right. I didn't do a very good job with Marty, did I? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not lashing out at you.
I know that. This is a side of you I don't very often see. I rather like it.
I missed you last night.
Me too.
Hey, Doc!
Lizzie, how many times do I have to tell you to knock?
Oh, sorry, Mrs. Jackson. You know, Bea told us there was something going on between you, but we thought she was pulling our legs.
There's nothing going on.
Oh, you can trust me, Doc. I won't open me mouth.
What do you want, Lizzie?
Oh, I forgot.
Don't read into a situation which isn't there, Lizzie.
Oh, me? Never. Oh, Mrs. Jackson, you forget I was even here. I never seen a thing. I saw them kissing, I tell you. Oh, they're in love. You should have seen the way he was holding her real close.
Yeah, well, good luck to her.
I mean, there's a time and place for everything. I mean, somebody might have just walked in and caught them. Stupid flaming idiots. They can run for all I care.
You should have expected it, Money.
You screws are all alike, aren't you? Jackson must have known I wouldn't get out. Getting me to act like an angel.
Oh, what's 3 lousy weeks anyhow?
Oh, yeah, come on, Fergie.
Well, listen, it may mean much to you, but it sure as hell does mean something to me.
Well, yelling's not going to change anything.
I'll yell if I bloody well feel like
You
it.
don't mind your language, I'll see that you spend part of that time in solitary, Ferguson.
You would, you bloody bitch, wouldn't. Well, I'll give you something to complain about. You bloody hell, you can run for all I care.
You're not making matters worse, Ferguson.
Oh, well, push your face in, you bitch. You run bloody bitches, the whole bloody lot of you. I hate this place.
You're going to be sorry, Ferguson. I'll make sure of that.
Not as sorry as
What's going on?
Ferguson's going crazy. You can't go in there.